Hail to the king, baby.
I still can't figure out how to do this. I know. How many
Do
episodes
what?
is it now?
Oh, you're talking about the intro?
No, I
Or-
just mean,
oh.
like, to record.
Oh.
I always hit play instead of record. That's really bad.
Well, I think we're on 12 now.
I think this is 12?
Yeah.
God.
You know, you can do some... Well, okay, maybe not all of your editing, but you can do some of your editing on Ophonic.
I could, but then I would have to learn how to do something new. Don't you just put the thing in the thing and then the thing comes out? Right? Wait.
Well,
okay.
you do on Ophonic, but it takes a while to post everything.
I have to. You had just write me an instruction sheet
Okay.
and put it in the email. That's the best way I work. That's what Rachel did when I took over her job at the book rack, and it helped me. And like for a few months,
4 pages.
yeah, for a few months, I still have it. I looked at it like forever. I just was like, this section on getting change because I have no common sense.
There was so much stuff that, like, I was just the only one that did it because I was like, well, I'm not going to ask someone else to do it. It's silly. Well, shoot, no one else is going to know.
There are so many things that people didn't know that you did that I'm like, yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I know.
Welcome back, everybody. So...
We're pretending like we just started now.
Make it as awkward as possible. This week we're going to dive into one of our favorite franchises, my second favorite franchise. We are going to talk about Evil Dead today, the Evil Dead franchise, all the way from the first one up to Ash vs. Evil Dead. We're going to do a few different episodes like this where we're going to do deep dives into franchises. So this is just the first of many, but we're going to start with the first Evil Dead, which, do you guys know when that came out? I probably should have written that down.
81?
1981.
No way! I didn't. Oh my gosh! I didn't realize.
Before
it came
any
out
of
in
us
80s.
were even thought about.
I don't think my
That's so
parents
funny.
got married until 87. 86.
Yeah, my parents didn't meet each other until 84, so...
Wow.
My parents got married after they had me, and I was born in
Well, yeah,
'97.
my parents
So
got married when my mom was like 6 months pregnant with me, so it's fine. These things happen.
God, I feel like every day we record, I'm just reminded of the fact that I'm the baby of this podcast.
You're so little. I don't think about it.
So I guess we should probably do a plot summary. Is that what we're gonna do?
I think this is a pretty widely
No.
considered order.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about them from 1 to Army of Darkness
Remake. And then Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Dead.
Yeah. Wait, you want me to say that? Or...
No, I
No?
just said
Oh.
that. That's okay.
Oh, okay.
I think I said it
All
loud
right.
enough. for
You
them
were
to
looking
get
at me like you were like, all right.
No. Sorry, I just make faces that don't correspond with my emotions
Oh.
sometimes.
So I guess just super quick plot summary. It's pretty much just about this group of kids, including Ashley Williams. They all go out to a cabin just to hang out, and they find these recordings in the basement of they don't know what, and they start listening to it, and basically it releases these demons upon them, and it goes downhill from there.
Jake calls them the no rules demons.
Why?
Because they can just, they establish a set of rules in the first
Uh-huh.
one, really, and then they just break them all in
Yeah.
the second one, and then,
Yeah.
it's like, so they're the no rules demons. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, and they're unlike really any other demons that you see in other movies. They have a sense of humor, which I really appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty hilarious. They're almost funnier than Ash sometimes. There are a lot of people who don't like the first one.
I just gave her a
love
look.
the first one.
Just
Clearly,
you
the
can't
first
see.
one was made for like $5,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I appreciate it because they had no money.
It was like $375,000.
But in movie dollars,
that's like $5.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And they just, they handled it so well, so creatively, especially with the camera angles and everything. There were things that I hadn't seen before.
I'm not somebody who really, gets on prosthetics and stuff like that, but when I was watching this, I couldn't help but laugh a little bit at the awful prosthetics, because you could see the edges, and they were peeling off of them sometimes, and it was comical.
They're so bad, but the movie is, because it's a comedy, I think it helps. The special effects are bad.
Yeah.
Or it helps dull that, I guess. It fits with the movie. The bad special effects fit with the movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, they work so well. And there's something just charming in it, that they made this really creative movie with no names, a no-name director, for no money, and it turned out to be this huge hit. I mean, that's always an awesome story.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
you know, thanks to Stephen King.
Wait, what?
What?
Did Stephen King have something to do with this?
No, yeah, so Stephen King saw the movie at, I think it was Cannes. They screened it out of competition at the Cannes Film Festival. Somehow Sam Raimi, got his way in there. I don't know how he did it. And Stephen King became the champion of this movie. He, wrote this article in some newspaper, I can't remember, some national newspaper, where he, listed his favorite horror movies, and he put Evil Dead in, his top 5. He said that it was unlike anything he'd never seen before. I actually have an Evil Dead poster in my bathroom, and there's a quote on it from him that it's, the most original film of the year. And he basically kind of single-handedly helped the movie get distribution and attention from people who normally would have just ignored it because it was just another low-budget horror movie.
Wow.
That's so
I
cool.
did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't either. That's awesome.
Yeah. Which I think is great. I love when people get famous, and instead of just being like, goodbye, little people, I'm famous now, they use that fame to help up-and-coming artists. So, he was a good guy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. I feel like Stephen King keeps finding his way into our episodes, though.
Oh, he does.
It doesn't matter what we're talking about.
He's just the Titan. You can't
and in some ways, he's like the father of modern horror.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just lived so long.
Yeah.
And been producing so much so long. And he's been commenting on the horror genre for so long that you really can't not talk about what he does.
Yeah. Gosh, it's gonna be a bad day when he finally. I shouldn't say finally.
He's gonna live forever.
God, I wish.
What if he made some sort of deal with a negative entity and he really will live forever, but he's just not saying anything about it? People will notice maybe 20 years from now, hey, is Stephen King still alive?
He's still alive. What the heck?
What's going on? He'd just be writing at his desk, one eye only opens now.
He's must finish. Too many ideas.
This movie, it made 10 times its budget back. That's how big of a hit it was. And I feel like nowadays, I don't know how many studios would take a risk on a movie like this.
No, they'll only do remakes.
Yeah.
And...
Yeah,
I mean, you could say, known properties. Marvel. They're not remakes, but everybody knows the characters.
Yeah, and there are hardly any mainstream original movies anymore.
Even the movies that aren't based on something, you get the feeling from them that, this isn't anything new.
No, it's all just recycled garbage.
Yeah, it's okay,
based on what they think the public will digest. And we're all bored, so get with it. A24, though, horror speaking, consistently comes out with really great original horror movies.
And I would say there's another one, Blumhouse. They're the ones that produce Get Out. They do a lot of really good movies with horror. And not just horror, but low-budget movies in general. I think they did Whiplash, which won an Oscar.
And there's probably a lot of these getting made and getting pitched, but they're just not giving them the exposure because they don't think that that's going to make money.
Which doesn't make any sense because the horror audience has grown substantially.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just insane. And you meet people who aren't even horror fans, but will still go see every horror movie that comes out. Mm-hmm. It's huge now. And to think that they're not going to make money, I mean, even the shitty ones make money these days. people will go see them, so it just doesn't really make sense to me. I guess they're looking for, like, the big bucks movies, like the Marvel movies and everything.
Yeah.
That make insane amounts.
So the story of the original Evil Dead movie is very much, like, kind of triumph story. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a really cool story.
I really love the first one. I don't want to say that. I think it does compete with Evil Dead 2. I just don't think there's as much content to talk about with the first Evil Dead.
I think it's just kind of setting up world, you know?
Yeah.
Here's world, and then with everything else, they just ran with that world. And so the first one is just, it's so hard to talk about how the first one of anything compares with anything else, because the first one, without the first one, there's no that universe, you know? So it's so hard to say.
So much of Evil Dead 2 almost feels like, and I personally do like Evil Dead 2 better, but it almost feels like a remake with a higher budget.
Okay, and it actually is. There's speculation on why it's the same movie, but from what I've been told and what I've read, Sam Raimi couldn't get the rights to just remake it.
Yeah.
And so they just remade it and titled it Evil Dead 2.
There was that shitty recap in the beginning.
Yeah.
Of now it's just him and his girlfriend, and the girlfriend dies. Yeah. Like, why didn't you just not say that and let people see the first one and then... I mean, you're not going to go watch Evil... I'm a person who wouldn't go watch Evil Dead 2 if I didn't see Evil Dead.
Right.
Why didn't they just leave that alone is a question I have.
But I also think that Evil Dead 2 stands on its own even without a recap. Then apparently they do that in all of them. I don't know. Maybe I saw a version without it or something. I don't know. I don't remember that. But they do the same thing in Army of Darkness, too. I know you haven't seen Army of Darkness, but they recap Evil Dead 2 in Army of Darkness, which I didn't think was necessary either, because Army of Darkness can stand on its own as well. I think all of these movies stand on their own very well.
They do. What always cracks me up about the recap the second movie, of the first movie, is that it's not just like showing clips from the first movie. Like, they reshot it, because it's a different woman playing the girlfriend. Mm-hmm. That's not the same actress.
No, same hair, different actress.
Same terrible hair.
I just didn't see, I still can't wrap my head around why they thought they needed to do that, but...
Because they thought it would be funny, probably. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think they obviously take these movies very seriously, but they're not serious movies. I mean, I know I've read that he was really inspired by the Three Stooges making these movies because he loves the Three Stooges.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you saw a lot of that.
So that's like an odd combination that you don't ever hear about, is a horror slasher movie basically, and the Three Stooges. Mm-hmm. I don't think you can examine too much, I guess, read too much into what these movies mean or anything, just because they are comedy.
Yeah. Now, okay, I heard you say, Rachel, that the first one was an intended horror comedy. Is that something that you know that the original directors intended it to be a horror comedy?
Oh, yeah.
I just felt that, having seen 1 and 2, that the first one was, while not a completely serious horror movie, was a lot more serious than the second one.
It was more serious. The second one, I think... I can't remember. They were trying to make some kind of mashup, but I can't remember what it was. But it was definitely meant to be more of a direct comedy.
So should we recap the second one maybe a little bit? Before that, I'm seeing us kind of segueing into the second one.
Do you want to, since you just watched it?
I just watched it last night, actually. I've seen the first one in the remake, but I just got to see the second one last night. My boyfriend actually has the special edition. It's up there. It's the it's actually like the Necronomicon made out of this latex. Oh. And if you push the eyes, they light up. It's really cool. And you open it. Go look at it. Yeah. So it's on the right of that bookshelf. You open it. It has the illustrations from
Oh,
now they don't light up anymore. The battery died.
I need one of these.
And then it has the DVD in there. Rachel, do you have this one, or have you seen this one?
No, I just have the Blu-ray.
So this is what it is. It's basically the Necronomicon with some really cool illustrations in it. Very detailed. Actually, if you look, you can see that one of the pages says Bruce on it.
Oh, jeez.
This one says Bruce right here. It's funny. And then you open it all the way up and you get the DVD.
That is so
I think it used to make sounds, too. There's just like an ear on the back. Anyway, the second Evil Dead, I recommend the special edition because it's super fun. It's basically, I was going to say, Bruce Campbell's character. Ash is still stuck in that cabin. He can't get out. Basically, the reanimated corpse of his girlfriend is like tormenting him and he can't get out of the cabin. And meanwhile, man who went to study the demons, who kind of set all this off inadvertently in that cabin originally, his daughter has found some new pages of the Book of the Dead, which is basically this Necronomicon, and she's getting ready to translate them. She's wanting to go back to the cabin because she thinks her father is still there researching these demons. Well, when she gets there with this, it's like a man she knows, and then these two hillbillies that she finds, like the girl and the guy.
Yeah.
I don't really know. They're not. I mean, I was like, well, they're dead because I don't care about them at all. And they come to the cabin and find Ash and think that he's killed the mom and dad. And so they throw him in the cellar, but they soon find out
there's deadites everywhere.
Deadites everywhere. So it's all about them trying to get out of that. And basically the pages were significant, of course. And if you read a certain passage, it would open a portal and make these demons go back to where they came from. But at the end of the movie, Ash gets sucked into that portal, and then you find him back in the movie that I haven't seen, which basically I'm guessing is just where the Deadites came from originally. And I'm not sure.
Army of Darkness is
King Arthur's time.
Yes, it's when I first watched it, I was like, this does not belong.
Okay, I was like, this is so incongruous.
But for some reason it still works. Like it doesn't seem like it would make sense, but it still works. It's still Ash. It's still Evil Dead.
Okay.
But
so that's Evil Dead 2. It's kind of, these movies, I really like them, and this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I'll watch maybe 2/3 of it and then I'm done. I'm like, I get what's going on here. They just wear out on me real quick. I'm like, I really love this concept. And then I watch them and I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if other people feel that way, but I found myself doing that while watching them.
I find Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness just like fun movies to watch, at least for me, because there's so many things that happen in these movies that are just outrageous and beyond hilarious. Sometimes you can't even help but just look at the screen and be like, oh my god.
I know. And they intended it to be that way, so you're even more impressed because it's hard to make people laugh.
Yeah.
It's hard to be funny.
Yeah.
And when someone can write something or show you something that actually legitimately makes you laugh, then it's kind of like, it's a talent.
Yeah.
It really is.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So...
And these movies are just... they just kill me. Like, you just think about different things that happen in them, and you're like, oh my gosh, I just can't even... Like, when he has to cut off his arm and everything, I just remember one scene where it's like his hand is infected, I think, and, like, it's just his arm goes up, and it's literally just Sharpie on his arm.
Yes.
I was like, it's
so
fine.
funny.
Put some Windex on it.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
It'll be okay.
It's fine. Is this, I'm trying to remember if it's in the first one or in the second one, because I haven't seen the second one in such a long time. The girlfriend is in the cellar, or somebody's in the cellar, and they're going, we're gonna get you.
That's the first one.
That's the first one?
Because the second one, the mom is in the cellar.
Oh, yeah.
And she's, like, singing,
oh, yeah.
Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird.
Yeah.
You were born on this day. Mm-hmm. That was kind of...
Yeah.
That's kind of creepy.
Oh, yeah.
There were some moments where it was scary. Like, when the deer head first turns into
oh, my gosh.
I'm like, scene. That's scary. And then I start laughing. Yeah.
It's like the most well-known scene from that whole franchise is like basically the whole room laughing at him. And then him just starting laughing.
What the hell do you do? Yeah. I can't imagine, like, as cheesy as it is, Bruce Campbell's emotional world has to change so much during that. Like, they demand so much out of him in those movies. He has to do. Yeah. He has to do, like, he's by himself for a lot of the time, so he has to be reacting to all these things, and then he's going, it's insane, and, there's so many emotions.
Yeah. I also think that, like, Ash is kind of a character that I think if I met Ash in person, I would fucking hate him because he's kind of a jerk. I mean, he's not really a nice guy, and I mean, you see more of it in Army of Darkness. He's kind of a dick in Army of Darkness, but but you still love him. I don't know why, but you still love him.
Because he's sort of an archetype, I guess.
Yeah.
Like action hero archetype.
But I think that Bruce Campbell kind of has that own, like, cocky personality, and I think that's why he, not necessarily that he's, like, full of himself, but he's kind of, like, got a similar personality to what they want out of Ash, and I think that's why it worked so well, him in these movies.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I see two different people from 1 to 2. Like,
oh yeah,
Ash is not that at all.
No, he's more timid in the first one.
In 2, they open with the recap. He's like, yeah, it's comical. Like he's with the girlfriend and he's like, oh hey baby, we're gonna do this, and I'm like, this is not the person that I saw. So maybe that recap was partly to establish a completely different character than you saw in the first one.
Most likely because. He's known as a ladies' man. I mean, that's kind of how people view him and just at his character in general, he's a ladies' man.
How does he have time? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's like, he doesn't even, and this is what kind of makes me think that I wouldn't like him if I just met him. He doesn't care. He has all these women fawning over him, and he kind of pushes them around. Like, he just doesn't give a shit. I mean, he seems proud of it, but he just doesn't, he's like, eh.
There was that part in the second one where he grabs the girl by her chin, when she's trying to hit him with the axe because she thinks that he's possessed still.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, I'm all right, okay? I'm all right. And I'm like, get your fucking hand off my chin. Yeah. Don't grab me like that. Yeah. Like, you grab a dog like that. That's not cool. Yeah. Anyway, that was, like, one thing where I was like, all of my body just kind of seized up while I was watching that. I was like, not good. Don't like. Although I understand when someone's coming after you with an axe, maybe you're gonna react that way. But I was just like, God, don't, like, did it have to be that way? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he is kind of a womanizer as well, but
he is. But I don't know. I never get the sense in any of them that any of the women feel like used and abused by him.
Right.
No, I don't think
he's a womanizer, but like I'm pretty sure the women are having a good time too.
Yeah,
so I can't get on it.
No, I don't think she felt that way. I just it was just I've never seen a man grab a woman that way before, and it was like really intense. And she was like so much shorter than him, and he had her like by the chin, and it kind of reminded me of the way that you would grab a dog's collar to like make it not do what you didn't want it to do. And I was like, but that could be an isolated incident or just me reacting to my own personal like fears and stuff. So otherwise I didn't see anything like he's kind of a jerk, but it didn't just bother me.
Like he's a lovable jerk.
Right. Yeah. It seems to just
he's like a like if you read romance novels, one of the big characters is like the rogue. Who's kind of, he's like a little bit of like a playboy, but everybody likes him because he's a pretty decent guy.
He's a tramp, but I love him.
And that's what I think about him. He's kind of the rogue out of romance novels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and I also think something that I just noticed while watching Army of Darkness, because I was thinking about like how he kind of treats or acts around women, and I kind of noticed he's the same way with guys. He's just rude to everybody. I mean, he loves women and women love him, but like he's just a jerk to everyone. It's not an isolated thing. And I think that's also why it doesn't bother me as much and why I can appreciate it is because, and it's also not just like, he's being a jerk for no reason. He's being a jerk because people are threatening his life. Right. Because he wants to go home and he doesn't want to deal with your bullshit. Because, he's just trying to get shit done and people are getting in his way.
Right. I think I don't know, maybe part of it could be that, and I think it's part of the way my mind likes to just have some sort of continuity where he was that person in the first one, but as things started happening to him, these qualities in him came out, and now he's like, well, if I've been chosen to do this, then let's fucking do this. Yeah. And so I can kind of see that change happening. It's really interesting.
For sure.
Like, you can read all these things into it that probably weren't even intended by the director at all. It's like, let's just make this fun movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
So does anybody have anything else they want to add about Evil Dead 2? Or
I think the camera angles in this one should be mentioned. Jake was telling me last night that they still study the camera angles in Evil Dead 2 in film classes.
Oh, wow.
Because they're so unique. Like, there's one where he's laying on the ground, and then they do this thing where it spirals up and around him. And just, if you watch the movie, Jake kind of made me aware of that while we were watching it. So if you watch the way everything is done during the movie, it's all the shots are so specific. And really, there's some really unique stuff that happens. Yeah. Like, there's one in the car. I know they established in the first one where the entity is kind of moving and you see from its point of view, which is awesome.
Yeah, I love that.
That's one of the things that really makes that eerie kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Well, they use it in the second one when he's driving in the car, running away from it, going back to the cabin, and the thing is chasing, and then the car crashes, I think, and the thing goes right through the windshield. And the windshield bursts, and then it's still chasing him up and through the cabin, and it's just like, first it was like a dolly, and then it was some guy with a handheld camera. But it just is so cool.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see stuff like that a lot.
There's a lot of things about this that are just so unique.
2? Anything else about 2 or 1? We are pretty fast. Gosh. I didn't see the third one, so unfortunately I didn't get a chance. So
the third one, as you mentioned at the end of the second one, he's kind of sucked into that portal. So he's taken to King Arthur's time. He's literally kidnapped or captured by King Arthur and his knights. And basically, of course, obviously, the Deadites have come to King Arthur's time, and Ash has to fight them. The end depends on which one you see, so this one I will talk about the end. The original ending, which is the one that Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell like more, Ash is given this potion that is supposed to put him to sleep for centuries, and then he will wake up in his own time. Well, of course, because it's Ash, he doesn't read the directions, and he just drinks the potion, and he takes way too much. And when he wakes up, he's in post-apocalyptic London, and that's how the movie ends. So then they do another ending for the American release, which Ash ends up getting back to the present, and he's working at S-Mart. And this Deadite comes in, and he kills the Deadite using a gun that he gets from the sporting goods section. That's how the movie ends. If you get the director's cut DVD, you can see it with the original ending.
It's a bummer. I haven't seen that alternate ending.
I have the Blu-ray, and I think it has the original ending on it, but I can't remember.
I know I have a Blu-ray of it, so I'll have to check and see if it has it. I know when because I watched it today, I rewatched it again today, and it didn't. Watching the movie straight through, it didn't have that ending, but I wonder if that's like a special extra that they have in there somewhere.
I have this, it's called the Screwhead Edition, and this does have the alternate ending, but I don't think that it is integrated into the movie. I think you have to watch it separately.
Yeah, I'll have to check what mine is. But I know, with the ending that came with the American release, the whole reason that the Deadites came back when he was at S-Mart is because he said the words wrong again. Because there's a whole part in the movie where he's trying to get the Necronomicon, and this guy tells him, you have to say these words, otherwise the Deadites are going to come back, and they're going to attack us. And it's one of the most popular scenes as well from the franchise. He's supposed to say, Klaatu Verata Nikto, and he says Klaatu Verata, and then he can't figure out the last word, and so he just kind of goes, and then he takes the book, and then the Deadites start coming, and he's like shouting at the sky. He's like, "No, I said it, no!" It's hilarious. He does the same thing at the end where he realizes, "Oh, wait a minute, I didn't say the words right before I drank the potion, and now I'm screwed." Which. It kind of, if you think about it, it kind of makes sense. Well, no, I guess not. I was going to say it makes sense with Ash vs. Evil Dead, but I guess it doesn't, because he brings him back in Ash vs. Evil Dead by himself. Yeah, you really need to see Army of Darkness.
I know, I was going to, but I just forgot.
It's quite incredible. I mean, it's just so funny. I think one of my favorite scenes from that movie is all of this happens when he's in the windmill, but he's got the little teeny tiny ashes. He breaks a mirror that he sees himself in, and all these little mirror shards have him in it. And it just looks like a reflection. And so he walks away thinking there's nothing going on, and all of these little mini ashes pop out of him. It start attacking him. And it's the funniest thing. And then later on, he, like, grows a second Ash. Did you notice, Rachel, that the eyeball, he grows an eyeball on his shoulder. It kind of looks like a vagina.
Oh, it totally does.
Like, I just noticed that in this one. I was like, what the hell?
It does.
Yeah, it starts out as an eyeball on his shoulder, and then it just grows into a second Ash. He becomes the villain of the movie, the evil Ash. You could say he's fighting his inner demons.
I was going to say he is kind of his own worst enemy.
Yeah.
He definitely is. And you can tell that Bruce Campbell had a really good time playing both Ash and Evil Ash. He just seems to have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
But I think this shoot was like, I think Sam Raimi like kind of enjoyed torturing him on this shoot, because I know like for all the fight sequences he had to learn all of this elaborate choreography. And Sam Raimi would just be like, let's do another take. Let's do another take. Constantly. Constantly. And obviously they're still really good friends, so, you know, there are no hard feelings, but...
That kind of reminds me of, like, when Tim Burton and Johnny Depp used to work together a lot, that he would take every opportunity he could to just cover Johnny Depp in blood.
Oh my gosh.
Like, every single thing.
Not to mention he, like, always kills his wife in movies, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this movie, I really love it. It's probably my least favorite, though, out of all of them. It is super funny. I don't know. It's probably my least favorite, but it's still head and shoulders above so many other horror movies, or just movies in general. But if I had to rank them, this would probably be at the bottom. It
definitely, like, just feels out of place at first. It was a good opportunity to do a lot of really funny things, I think, that they didn't get to do in the second one, so... I really enjoyed it. I have to say, though, there's a scene... Of course, Ash has a girl in this movie, and evil Ash steals her and kisses her. And, okay, good Ash killed him. I think he chopped off his head.
I think so.
So how he comes back, I don't know, because it's like in the book that's like one of the only ways to kill the Deadites.
Yeah, except in the second movie, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess.
For some reason.
But he chops off his head and he buries him alive, which is another way that you can kill the Deadites. So he did two of the things that you're supposed to do.
Also doesn't matter in the second movie.
Yeah, but evil Ash comes back anyways, and he steals... I can't remember her name. I just watched the damn movie and I can't remember her name. But he steals her and he kisses her. Sheila? Yeah.
Yes, which I find hilarious that her name is Sheila, but this is King Arthur time. I don't know that the name Sheila was around back then.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. But when he kisses her, it's like he doesn't even have lips. He's just a skeleton. He's like a half-burned skeleton.
So what, did he just bump his teeth up against?
Pretty much. Like that happened, and then the screen cut, like it changed and everything. So like, I mean, you didn't see them kiss, but it was like, how's that even gonna work? But he turns her into a Deadite, and she, of course, fights Ash and everything, and she causes problems too. Which I have to say, also during the major fight scene, did he kill her and then she come back? Because
yeah,
I thought he stabbed her.
I think he beheads her. No. No, somehow he saves her.
Yeah, because there was a scene where they were fighting up on a balcony, and she runs at him, and he has, like, a pole, okay? And they have these poles that have points at the end of them. They're like those
jousting things?
A lance.
Yeah.
The jousting things.
Yeah, so he takes one, and he flips her over, but all I'm thinking is, like, you just stabbed her and threw her over the edge. What the hell? And there was no remorse, nothing. And then she came back, not as a Deadite. She came back totally normal.
There are no rules.
No stab wounds.
No rules.
I was so confused. It didn't make any sense.
There's no rules.
The universe doesn't have to follow its own rules because, well, it did kind of establish them.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, mostly it hasn't followed them, so it can just go whatever and do whatever it wants.
Which I think makes it so fun.
It does.
You really don't know what the hell's gonna happen.
It's like, okay, so this is happening now. Alright!
I'll just go with it.
When it has a continuity error in these kinds of movies, I just brush it off. I'm like, whatever, they probably just glossed over it.
I mean, most of it is continuity errors, and that's kind of the point of it. It's like, really? I thought you said, well, never mind. And that's part of the humor of it. Is like, there's a point where they have green blood for no reason in the second one.
Yeah.
Like, okay, all right, this is what we're doing now. You know, and I really like it when they do that because it's just like, just fuck everything. We're just going to do whatever's fun.
We're just going to have fun. There's another scene that I really love in Army of Darkness where, you know, he's trying to find the Necronomicon, and he finds it, but there's 3 of them. And he's like, pissed because he's like, nobody said there were 3. Okay, like, what the hell am I supposed to do? And he opens one of them, and one of them is like this vacuum that he gets sucked into. But when he comes out, I must say, first of all, because he gets completely sucked into this book, I'm kind of pissed that we never found out what he got sucked into. Because I really love to know, like, what was on the other end of that book and where it was going to take him. Yeah. But we didn't. The book just closes, and he's in there. And then it opens again, and he gets out, and he's fighting his way out. But it's probably one of the coolest practical effects, I think, in these movies. His face is pulled, like, all the way down. And I remember I've seen so many pictures of Bruce Campbell with that prosthetic on, and it is the funniest thing.
That's what fan fiction's for. You can find out what happened to him in there. Maybe, like, 3 years went by in there.
Maybe.
Who knows?
It's possible.
You can write it, though.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
But yeah, that was a really fun part. I think the whole movie is just so fun.
It is. Okay, so here's what I found on Wikipedia. So these movies were released in Italy under the title La Casa, which is the house, because of course the first one takes place in a cabin. So there's an Italian director who created 2 unofficial sequels to Evil Dead 2.
I heard about this.
Yes, La Casa 3, which I don't know anything about. And then my personal favorite, La Casa 4, which is starring Linda Blair and David Hasselhoff.
What?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
An unlikely pair.
I have, like, this really strange affection for David Hasselhoff, and I don't know where it comes from because he's not talented, but I just find him to be delightful. And yes, so Linda Blair is pregnant during this movie, apparently, and you have Gary, that's David Hasselhoff, and his gal pal, which is what they call her, Leslie, which makes me think that he's gay, but somehow I doubt it. And they're doing research on witchcraft, and then they're joined by pregnant Linda Blair and her family, and they are subjected to the wrath of an evil witch who will not quit until all of them die. Now, what this has to do with the Evil Dead, I don't know, but it was marketed in Italy as a sequel to Evil Dead.
Now you said
Evil Dead 2, excuse me, to Evil Dead 2.
So that was the third one, right? So there were sequels to Evil Dead 2. You described the third one?
So there was La Casa and then La Casa 2. So that's Evil Dead 2.
Okay.
Then there's La Casa 3, which I don't know anything about. And then this is La Casa 4.
Okay.
And then there is also La Casa 5, which I also don't know anything about.
Well, so La Casa 4, that would kind of be, that would be the third one then, if you start off from Evil Dead 2. Is that kind of like the jumping off point?
Yeah. I don't think these were ever supposed to have anything to do with the Evil Dead. Mm-hmm. I think that this director was just capitalizing off how successful Evil Dead was in Italy.
Yeah, probably.
So is that the reason there weren't copyright issues? Because I would think there would be super copyright issues.
No, they called it La Casa. That doesn't necessarily... No, obviously not.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I guess I don't know how copyright laws work in Italy.
Especially with horror movies that are super tropey to begin with. So, like, how can you even prove? It's like, yeah, so you used this, but, like, this has happened in, like, 10 different horror movies, so...
Yeah.
How do you...
Yeah.
It's interesting.
They use name recognition to market it.
It's kind of like, these movies are a little bit harder to talk about just because it's more of an experience. You know, it's not like, they aren't like meaty movies where you have these things that you really need to talk about. It's more like pretty much what we've been doing where it's like that scene and that scene and that scene, you know, and that sort of thing. It's an experience. Yeah. You have to sit down and you have to watch it and like experience it for yourself.
Yeah, they're not exactly plot driven.
Yeah.
Right.
And like you said, there are no rules. So really, it's just whatever the hell Ash wants to do.
So this is going to be an episode, mostly, or a set of episodes, depending, mostly for people who have seen the Evil Dead movies, or people who, like, are liking what they're hearing about them and are wanting to experience them.
Yeah.
This isn't one where we're explaining the whole plot and, you know, now the movie's ruined and you don't really need to see it. It's like, well, you're getting a little bit of snatches of things.
Yeah.
And so you should probably then go see them yourself.
The great thing about these movies, too, is that you really can't spoil them. Because it doesn't matter what you tell people.
You know everybody's going to die, but not Ash.
Right, but it's like, and the thing is, you can even, like, describe different scenes, but nobody knows what it's like until they see it. Like, you can only describe things to a certain point, and that's what's great about these movies, that it's like, it's primarily about an experience. You know, there's only so much that we can say. We can tell you the ending, we can tell you how it's going to end, but ending really doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
It's everything in between that matters.
It's the music, it's the acting, it's the camera angles, it's what they're showing you, it's everything. It's all of that factors in.
Yeah. Oh, I just remembered, which one is it where it has to be Evil Dead 2, where I think it was Linda, but the girlfriend just like sits and laughs. Do you remember that? It's like the most annoying laugh in the entire world. Is that the first one?
Well, the first one, she has this laugh, and it happens quite a bit. Like,
okay,
the girlfriend's the one who does the laugh, and I'm not going to imitate it.
Oh my gosh. It's
in my head, though, now that you said it.
Yeah, it's the worst. But it's like stuff like that, you know? Like, we can sit here and say, you know, the girlfriend sits and laughs at him, and it's annoying, but it's like...
Language only gets you so far.
Yeah.
Those sort of things.
Yeah, so...
see it.
If anybody's listening and they haven't seen these movies, you really need to get out and see them. I don't want to say they're really life-changing, but you're going to have so much fun.
And also, you've never... I mean, if you haven't seen these movies, but they're classics.
Yeah.
You've never seen demons like this. I don't think you've ever seen anything quite like it.
Yeah.
You've seen spoofs of it. I mean, you've probably seen Cabin in the Woods, which is a huge nod to Evil Dead for some parts.
Well, it's a huge knock on all of horror, though. Yeah. I mean, it's like
it's everything.
You know? Yeah.
But you haven't... I mean, you really should just see these for what they are.
Yeah.
Because they did something, whatever it is they did, that added significantly to the horror genre, I think.
Well, and even, like, the demons that are in this, I don't even like calling them demons, because they really aren't. They're deadites. They're exactly what... they're their own things. They aren't what you expect. They aren't what you see, like, in The Exorcist or something like that. They just want to kill you, and they want to laugh about it, and they want to have a good time.
And they have such an immediate physical effect.
Demons who seem like they're having a lot of fun. It kind of reminds me... I guess that would be the other way around, but in some ways of some of the demons from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where, like, the demons sometimes would be, like, cracking jokes and stuff while fighting Buffy.
Yeah, so we're wanting to do an episode eventually on movies that started a type of movie in the horror genre or really broke ground in the horror genre, because there's just so many of them that probably did.
Do we want to jump to the remake then?
Sure. God, and I love the remake, but it's been so long since I've seen it. I barely remember anything.
It's
not even a remake. I mean, I'd call it a reboot. Because it's in the same universe. I mean, so it's not, you know, they're not remaking the first movie with different actors. I mean, it's totally different characters, but in the same universe as the originals.
I saw this movie. I saw it when it was in the theaters. I was super excited about it. I don't think I had seen any of the other Evil Dead movies, actually, when I saw it. But I know when I went and saw it in the theater, I, like, went home that day, and I watched the first one. Because my parents don't like Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness. They only like the first one. So I know, like, the remake is what sparked my love for the whole franchise. Because ever since then, I've watched all of them so many times. But I've seen the remake so many times, too. I think it's just so well done. And really, it's Evil Dead minus the humor plus even more gore. And just better practical effects, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But it was just so well done. It is such a gory movie. My God.
Like, the only thing I remember from that, and I think I may be confusing it with some other movie, is the girl sawing her mouth.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I remember.
Yeah, it's gross.
Like, it's that long ago I saw this, I can't.
And I would say if you're someone, because I know that some people can take gore and can't take other things, so if you're someone who's really grossed out by vomit or people vomiting, don't watch this movie. There's a lot of vomiting in it. And I know a lot of people, like my best friend, loves scary movies, but he cannot take people vomiting on screen because it makes him sick.
Yeah.
So this would not be a movie for him.
Yeah.
I don't like it either, but I got through it somehow. I guess I wasn't eating at the time I watched it. I don't remember that, but I could...
I loved all of it. I loved the gore. I'm a huge gore fan. My parents hate it because I will watch movies that are gory just because they're gory. Even if they're shitty movies, if they're, like, super gory, I love them. But that was something I really appreciated about this movie. There was one scene, though, that really still makes me cringe. And I still kind of, like, turn away when I'm watching it. When the main character is on the stairs to the basement, and the demon has a hold of her. Oh, wait a minute. I think I'm getting confused. I'm not sure. But there's somebody on the stairs, and a demon gets a hold of her, and she has a box cutter. The demon has a box cutter. And do you remember this? Cuts her tongue
No.
in half. Yeah. That, still, every time I see that, I'm like, oh my god. I don't know what it is about it, but it really makes me cringe. I can't remember if that's when the main girl is possessed.
Yes, because she's vomiting, like, blood all over.
Oh, yeah.
She throws up blood all over the other girl's face.
Oh, yeah.
Again, if you don't like vomiting, there's quite a bit of vomiting of blood, vomiting of, like, this tar-type substance. So please skip this movie because I don't want anyone to get sick. That's no fun.
See, that's funny because it only bothers me when they're vomiting, like, food. If it's blood or tar or whatever, it doesn't seem that real to me.
Everybody's different. If people vomiting in real life, I can't take it.
No.
But in movies, it doesn't bother me at all.
No, in movies, if it's food, like, I want to get sick. And if it's something else, then I'm fine. So weird.
But anyway, the reboot thing. So it's by the same guy that did Don't Breathe, with the same actress. The lead actress from Don't Breathe is also the lead actress in Evil Dead.
I never realized that. I did not.
Girl.
Oh my gosh! Now I'm realizing.
Yep, it's the same girl.
Holy cow!
And so this movie was actually produced by Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell. So that's why I had a lot of confidence in it when it was coming out. I was like, this is clearly sanctioned by them. Because, you hear the word reboot, remake, you're like, ugh, barf. Why would I want to watch that? The originals are perfect. But because it was produced by them, I gave it a chance, and I'm really glad I did. And I'm pretty sure this was the director's first movie, which is kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Because it's so good.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about this is that actually the main character is a woman in this. I don't know, it isn't like totally in your face where they're like, we're replacing Ash with a woman. It's just like, it is what it is. And they kind of play it off. Okay, the whole reason that she is here, that this woman is here, she has her brother and his girlfriend and two of her old friends. They're staying at this cabin because she's trying to get sober. And she's supposed to stay there until she's sober. I can't remember.
And she's trying to get off heroin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is not a fun one.
And she's trying to go...
That can kill you.
Yeah, and she's trying to go cold turkey, obviously. But her friend is a nurse, so she's supposed to be helping her, I guess. But so that's the whole point of them being there. And so they kind of... It really works well because this main character... I can't remember her name right now, of course, but... Mia, yeah, she kind of, they can play it off easy because she's the one who starts to notice things, and they kind of play it off of the fact that, like, oh, like, you're just off your drugs, you're off heroin right now, you're probably just seeing things and having issues. I mean, it's a struggle that you feel for her, because you can tell, like, shit really is happening, there's serious stuff happening, and everyone's kind of just shoving it under the rug. Some of them are really concerned for her, but the rest of them are just kind of like, well, she's done this before. And we find out that she's come to this cabin before and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's like the whole purpose that they're there, and the whole struggle is that she's trying to get off of drugs, but, here come the Deadites. And her damn friend, they tell him to leave that book alone, and they find the Necronomicon, and it's all his fault. Because he decides that he needs to figure out what it is.
Like, it even says on there, like, don't read it, don't say it, don't think it.
Yeah.
And so he sits there and, like, reads it aloud. I'm like, you dumbass.
That's the first thing somebody's going to do, though, if you put a note on something saying, don't open this, or don't read it.
Oh, of course, they're going to open it.
It's just our human nature. There's a book. I don't know what it was. I think Elizabeth was telling me about it. A woman who works at the bookstore, she was saying there's a book that's like, don't turn the page.
Uh-huh.
I'm not kidding. Don't turn the page. And kids just love turning the page.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you do.
That kind of reminds me of, like, the Lemony Snicket books.
Mm-hmm.
The series of unfortunate events where he's like, you should probably just stop reading this because why want to keep reading a story like this? I mean, just put it down and go do something fun. And then it just continues on. So it's kind of that fun, like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only difference in this, though, is the fact that he realizes that the book is bound in human skin. He notices that.
I know.
That the writing is in blood. And everything is crossed out with a damn pen. And no, let's just...
Yeah, I wonder what this novel's about.
Yeah. I wonder what this is.
I think it's a romance. Like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
With a rogue in it.
Yeah.
Gotta have one of those.
But it's such a fun movie, and the best part, the part that caused me to lose my mind, of course, was at the end, where after the credits, all of a sudden, it cuts to Bruce Campbell watching something on TV, and he just turns around and says, Groovy, the camera, and I was telling you guys, when I saw it in the theater, I, screamed. I was like, oh my god! Bruce!
There was no way that they were going to make another Evil Dead movie without him being a part of it. Like, no chance.
Right.
He was going to have to do something.
Well, and originally there had been a plan to do another Evil Dead movie kind of uniting the two timelines. I'm not sure what happened with it, and then obviously they ended up doing the TV series instead.
That would have been interesting, though.
Yeah.
At least in this reboot, okay, so the Deadites have a reason in this one to do what they're doing. In the others, they really don't. But in this one, their whole purpose is to kill people and to collect souls. So that this one demon, when it has enough souls, can rise and basically destroy the world. And by the end, Mia is the only one that's left alive, and they've killed everyone else, and it's collected all the souls that it needs. So I loved this ending. When I first saw it, I was like, okay, this is kind of out of place and kind of weird, but I've really come to love it. It starts raining blood, and so, I feel like the whole sequence is just amazing, because it's raining blood, and the ground is soaking wet, and everything is just red. Everything is just covered in blood.
I must be so desensitized. I don't remember this at all.
Really?
How do you forget something like that? I don't know. My brain is turned to mush because of anxiety, I guess. You just start forgetting things. So.
Yeah, but the thing, rises out of the ground, and it's I can't even remember what it looked like, but I remember thinking this is the weirdest thing I've seen. It was so creepy. Let me see if I'm going to pull up a picture of it, just because I hardly even remember. But it, just rises out of the ground. The ground is just soaking wet with all of this blood.
What keywords do you put in to find that?
Well, the Abomination is the name of the demon.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh my gosh, this came out in 2013. Kidding me? It's been 4 years?
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Okay. I can't get a picture of it right now. Basically, what she ends up doing, Mia does end up getting a hold of, a chainsaw, though, which is, obviously going to be, a little flashback to Ash. She gets a hold of a chainsaw, and I want to say that does she cut off the Abomination's legs, or do they get pulled off from something?
I can't remember. Oh, I know she cuts him in half with the chainsaw.
Yeah. That's what I was kind of getting to, but I know that by the end it couldn't walk. I can't remember.
Right.
I can't remember why. I love that scene so much when she cuts it in half. I think she says, "Eat this, motherfucker," because it looks at her and it says, "I'm gonna eat your soul," and she goes, "Eat this, motherfucker," and shoves the chainsaw into its mouth and cuts it right in half.
I love how tangible the demons are in the whole franchise. It's just kind of different.
Yeah.
Because usually in possession movies, and it's so hard to even call this a possession movie, there's a whole bunch of rituals that need to be done, and then again, they might not even work, and this, it's like, if you have a chainsaw, you have an okay chance, which is really interesting to me. I like that.
And there's really, obviously, no chance in getting rid of the demon without killing somebody.
Yeah, you can't exorcise this demon. You just it's like all very physical, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I still love the ending of that movie. I think it ended very well. It was fantastic. But yeah, the abomination just sinks back into the earth, I guess back down to hell, and she walks away. But it was a great movie. It was a really, really well done. I know people were really skeptical about it, but...
It was great.
Are we ready to move on to Ash vs. Evil Dead?
Let's do it.
I don't really know what all to say about it, because...
I've only seen, like, one episode of it.
There's just...
Yeah. I mean, this one, I think we definitely want to try and not give too many spoilers.
Right.
Since it's on premium cable. It's not really streaming anywhere, so it's harder for people to see right now.
Yeah. But if you have a chance to watch it, I mean... highly, highly recommend it. I'm a huge Game of Thrones nerd, and it has been my favorite show since it started. But I have to say, when Ash vs. Evil Dead is on, it's really close to being, like, my favorite over Game of Thrones. It's fantastic. I only wish it wasn't just a half an hour long.
Yeah, I always thought it was kind of weird that it was only 30 minutes, but also, I don't know how much else you could put in one episode.
Yeah.
They fit a lot into that 30 minutes.
They do. And they keep you wanting more. I think that's one of the reasons that they do that.
Plus, my personal favorite part is that Lucy Lawless is in it as the female lead, and as someone who grew up absolutely loving Xena, anytime and first of all, somehow she looks younger than she did when she was on Xena, which she's gotta be, like, bathing in virgin's blood. But it's just, she's great. I mean, she is so kick-ass.
Yeah.
Everything.
Somehow she ends up with pink hair. Do you have any idea how the hell that happened? It seemed like it came out of nowhere. In the show.
I don't know, it probably just felt like giving her pink hair.
Like, she came back and she had pink hair, and it was like, okay, I guess she has pink hair.
Yeah, I think they just felt like giving her pink hair.
Yeah.
Also, the music in Ash vs. Evil Dead is perfect.
It is.
I don't know who does the music for them, but, like, highly, highly, highly recommended, like, to find a Spotify playlist or something of someone who's put all the music together.
Yeah. I'm just consistently amazed. I wish it were still on. Like, I want the next season to start, because I'm just sick of waiting, but I'm consistently amazed with how well it's put together. And I love that Bruce Campbell he goes all in. He's just full force Ash. He doesn't hold back at all, and I love that.
Yeah. I guess a little bit of a synopsis for the show. It's like a direct sequel to the original 3 movies. They don't mention, like, the reboot at all in it. But Ash is kind of a loser. I mean, he works at what clearly is supposed to be, like, Walmart. And he lives in a trailer, and he just, like, goes to the bar and drinks a lot and tries to pick up women. And, of course, though, what happens? The Deadites come back. And he has to come out of retirement almost and help save the day.
Doesn't he bring the Deadites back? Isn't he, like, drunk one day?
Yeah, I think so.
And he, like, shows the book to some girl.
He has the book, because he's been trying to destroy the book for, like, the last 30 years, and he can't destroy it.
Yeah.
And so he, like, sort of is taking care of the book, and I think he does accidentally bring them back.
Yeah, it's like he's drunk and he's with this girl and he's like, oh, you want to see this motherfucking thing?
Yeah.
So that's what I remember from it. And aren't they at dinner and something happens after that? I don't remember.
That's right. That's okay. I just looked. So he recalls having a recent marijuana-addled poetry read with a young prostitute from the Necronomicon, which he still keeps locked in a trunk. So he gets drunk, gets high, picks up a prostitute, and then goes home and reads to her from the Necronomicon, which is a definite thing that Ash would do.
That's like a bad day, man. It's a bad day.
We've all been there. We've all made bad life choices when we've been drinking.
But the great thing about Ash is it doesn't even faze him. He's just like, well, shit.
Exactly. And the there are so many characters where if you heard about them doing that, you'd be like, oh my god, what an idiot. This character just gets on my nerves. But when Ash does it, it's just like, man, that figures.
Yeah.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah.
He's just so fucked up from everything that happened.
Yeah.
And, like...
He's still, like, macho Ash, you know, like, macho, cocky Ash, and it's hilarious, because, like you said, he's still trying to woo women constantly, everywhere he goes. Doesn't he wear a girdle?
I think he does.
Yeah, I vaguely remember.
He's, like, wearing a girdle that still looks ripped.
Yeah.
So it's a straight-up comedy kind of action thing with a little bit of, gross
it's definitely,
stuff.
It's like the second movie. I mean, it's a straight-up horror comedy.
But it's not a little bit of gross stuff. It's, like,
really?
lot of gore.
I only saw one episode, so...
There's a reason that it's on premium cable.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they really just... They don't hold back with it at all. I mean, it's just...
No.
Everything. I mean, everything that makes rated R what it is in this show. There's nothing they don't do.
It's on Stars, and I know that you can stream it on Amazon if you subscribe to Stars on there, and it's on DVD, so get it from your local library if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Also, they do bring a character from the first movie back in the second season as someone of a completely different race.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's not surprising at all.
No.
I wonder whose idea that was. It was...
No, I mean,
probably
I
Bruce
think they
Campbell.
just do what they want.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say about the show?
No, because I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah.
Okay, so next week we're going to have a guest on. My friend Tori did her grad project on Lizzie Borden and whether or not she could have actually committed the murders of her... Was it just her father and mother?
Yes.
I think so.
Father and mother. And
Stepmother, I think, wasn't it?
That's why I'm gonna be researching the case to kind of recap it. If anyone wants to find stuff about it they want to add, we can do that. But Tori's going to be presenting her grad project to us and basically telling her what conclusions they had as to whether Lizzie could have inflicted those kinds of injuries on her parents.
Does she have an idea of who it could...
I haven't asked for any information. It's all a total surprise to me.
Now I want to know.
Yeah. So next week we're gonna find out what she has to say about that. I like to keep things a surprise because it's always so much more interesting.
Yeah.
Follow us on SoundCloud, Twitter, our
Facebook.
Our main site is WordPress, iTunes,
Tumblr,
Google Plus.
Somebody needs to follow us on Tumblr. We have no followers.
We don't get on Tumblr. We need to be better about that.
Well, I post all of our episodes on Tumblr, but that's...
But you have to do more. With Tumblr, you have to put work into it.
Yeah,
I
don't like Tumblr.
So follow us on all those things. Please rate and review us on iTunes and SoundCloud because that's super important. Mm-hmm. We don't know what to change if we don't know what you don't like and what you do like, so let us know. I'm all talked out.
Yeah, I'm so tired.
I'm tired now.
This is like the longest day ever.
We went shopping. We have such hard lives. Okay.
You have any recommendations, Rachel?
Wonder Woman!
Oh my gosh! Yes, did you see
Wonder Woman! Guys, it's great. It's so good. It's so well done. Mm-hmm. And there was this quote from the director where... God, of course, now I can't remember the direct quote, but it was something about how she hates the word cheesy. Because she's like, I wanted to make a movie about a hero who believes in love and does things because she wants to help humanity and does things out of love, and I don't think that's cheesy at all. And I'm like, you're so right. That's exactly what superheroes are supposed to be.
Yeah.
Not like dour and looking like they have to poop all the time, like Man of Steel. He was constipated that whole movie, I swear to God. And in Batman vs. Superman, he just looked constipated. And Superman's supposed to be like the better version of us.
Uh-huh.
Like we should all strive to be Superman. And I did not get that from that movie, but you definitely get that from Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. We should all strive to be more like Wonder Woman.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. Actually, I don't know if you saw this, but Caleb shared a picture on Facebook
that was it was Wonder Woman, and she was carrying
Batman and Superman
and Batman, and it said, yeah, it was fantastic.
It was like basically what the DC universe looks like right now.
Yeah.
It's so good, and I don't want to spoil it, but there is a sequence where in the original comics, Wonder Woman comes to the States, I guess you could say, during World War II. So in the movie, they make it World War I. And there's a sequence that takes place in No Man's Land, which is between the two trenches.
Mm-hmm.
In World War I, they would call that area No Man's Land. And it is so well done. Oh my god. It is like the best part of the movie.
It's heart-wrenching. It is absolutely... And what I felt during that scene is like how I think most people feel about war. Because she's kind of going through all of this and seeing all these people and saying, like, we have to help them. And it's like, I feel like most people can relate to that. Like, that desire to, like, you know, you see pain and you want so badly to do something about it. And she is all about just doing it. Like, she doesn't care. She doesn't care what the chances are. She just does it because she wants change. And after I saw that movie, all I could think to myself is, this is exactly what we need in the world right now. Like, thank you for making this movie when you made it, because it is exactly what the world needs at this moment.
And that's why I just love that quote about how she doesn't think it's cheesy to believe in these ideals and that kind of thing. She thinks that's a good thing. That's a beautiful thing. And I think now more than ever we need a positive figure like that. We don't need dour superheroes. We need uplifting superheroes that remind us that we can be better people.
Also, just simply seeing, like, a woman superhero portrayed in that manner. I mean, I almost started crying just during the fight scenes of the movie, because I couldn't even believe my eyes with how well they were done. I feel like a lot of the times when you see a woman who has some sort of special gift or special power, she's always afraid of it. Men in those situations are always like, you know, take control and like, let's do this, but it just feels like a lot of the women, they're scared. They don't know what to do. Wonder Woman isn't like that at all. Like, she starts to notice that she can really kick ass, and she really gets into it. There's a scene where she realizes that she is able to break into a wall. And the first time she does it, she's like, what the heck? And then she just, like, gets into it. And I loved it. That scene really stuck out to me, because I was like, holy shit, I didn't expect that. Because I was kind of expecting her to be like, oh my god, what just happened? But no, she just totally...
Like, this is awesome!
Yeah, she's like, yes, like, let's do this. This is so cool.
Yeah. So, Miranda, since you loved that movie so much, and anyone who saw it and loved it, or anyone who loves Wonder Woman, I highly, highly, highly recommend The Secret History of Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
It's a book by Jill Lepore. It goes into her origins and kind of, you know, why she was created and who created her, and then sort of her initial role in the Justice League, where she was the secretary. But anyway, it just goes through that, and then through kind of how she has influenced culture and how she just almost instantaneously became this feminist icon.
Yeah.
I mean, just someone who women could always really rally around. It's a really great book.
I'll have to check it out.
I think I know how to end this podcast.
Uh-oh. What?
So, guys, everyone needs to remember tonight, believe in love, and don't look constipated.
I'm telling you. Just, like, look it up, guys. He looks constipated the whole... He does. Just